Joe Catalano with an AM Quincy news update for Thursday, October 2nd. A group of Quincy residents who are trying to get a question on the November 4th ballot dealing with the mayor's annual salary are considering their next steps now that they've been told they failed to collect enough signatures to force that question. Quincy Citizens for Fair Raises disputes the city clerk's office ruling that said the group fell 828 signatures short of the required amount for the ballot question. Election officials said they discounted 1,851 signatures that were printed as per longstanding state policy. However, citizens argue that was inappropriate and are now considering legal action. The question would ask if voters want to roll back the mayoral salary set to take effect in 2 years from $285,000 to $183,000. It would also set 2% annual raises for all elected officials and require any change to that policy be approved by voters. The MBTA wants the public to weigh in on plans to expand ferry service to Boston from coastal cities, including Quincy. The T is conducting a water transportation study to gauge interest in expanding ferry service and adding new ferry service. Here in Quincy, Mayor Thomas Koch says that would mean increasing service on the existing ferry at Squantum Point Park at Marina Bay. The T is holding an open house today at Marina Bay to accept comments, and similar open houses are being planned in Salem, Gloucester, Chelsea, and Everett. The T says it's considering new ferry routes, terminals, facilities, and improvements to existing ferry service. Boston firefighters battled a fire in Dorchester that broke out at a multifamily building last night. The third alarm fire engulfed all 3 floors of the building on Beckett Street. Boston Fire said crews were able to knock it down eventually, but all of the home's porches were burned through. Witnesses said it sounded like a series of explosions. Fire officials said 2 residents were taken to the hospital, and 18 people and several pets are without a place to live. About an hour later, at about 8:20 last night, firefighters raced to nearby Dorchester Avenue when a second fire broke out at another home. Crews had to force their way through the smoke-filled building, trying to quickly contain it. Firefighters were also able to contain that fire. The cause of both are still under investigation. Tourists hoping to step aboard the USS Constitution in Charlestown were turned away yesterday as the federal government shutdown halted scheduled tours of the nation's oldest floating warship. Visitors from across the country arrived at the Charlestown Navy Yard only to find the ship closed off. The disappointment was clear as families who planned to tour Old Ironsides were told that the vessel would remain off limits until the shutdown ends. The USS Constitution is one of several Boston sites impacted. The John F. Kennedy Presidential Library and Museum and the Bunker Hill Monument are also closed to visitors due to the funding stalemate in Washington. Here in Quincy, the Adams National Historical Park grounds are open for self-guided tours. However, the old house and the birthplaces are closed. While the historic Constitution Museum, which is operated by a private foundation, remains open, tourists can still explore exhibits about the warship's history, offering at least some consolation. Tours of the Freedom Trail, which are run by a separate foundation, will also continue while federal sites remain shuttered. Check of business news. This morning, stocks are higher. The Dow rose 43. The Nasdaq is up 95. The S&P added 22. Asian stocks advanced, tracking Wall Street's rise to records despite the shutdown of the U.S. government. The dollar fell, the euro rose, and oil is at $61 a barrel. In sports, Red Sox lose to the Yankees in New York last night, 4-3. In the wild card race, forcing Game 3 tonight at 8 p.m. Today's forecast from the National Weather Service. Mostly sunny with a high of 64. For tonight, clear, chilly, low of 43. Tomorrow, sunny, high 72. Then Saturday, sunny and warm with a high of 80. Sunday, sunny and a high of 82. For the boater, waves 2 to 3 feet, winds northeast 10 to 15, gusting to 20. High tide 8:50 a.m. and 9:03 p.m. Sunrise 6:43, sets at 6:21. I'm Joe Catalano with an AM Quincy news update for Thursday, October 2nd.